Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the WICCI podcast where we meet dynamic leaders week on week. And this time around, we have Geetika Bangia with us. Geetika is the head corporate communications at Striker India. And I'd love to give you a brief introduction about her. And before I hand it over to her to really talk about her laurels all these years and gain from her experience and insights. With close to 2 decades of industry experience across diverse sectors like consumer durables, automotives, and healthcare, she excels in the art of storytelling, strategizing brand perceptions and image in line with the overall brand vision. Her expertise lie across diverse forms of communication. Geetika, in past 2 decades of experience, has managed B2C communication, B2B communication, and even B2G communication, which is around government relations and public affairs. An eminent thought leader in the industry, she's been a part of a lot of jury opportunities, panelists across different marketing and industry platforms. And I've been fortunate to share some stages with her. So I know of her dynamism when she speaks. So it's really, really great to have you here with us today. Hi, Geetika.
Hi, Garima. It is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful time coming again on this, sharing this dice with you once again, and truly elated. And thank you so much for inviting me on uh, on this wonderful podcast series that you have been hosting under WICCI. And of course, we both being members of WICCI as the council members, so definitely the bond goes way back. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much for inviting me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. So great, Geetika. Let's start by deep diving into your professional journey a little. While I did try and give a top line view of it, I'd love for you to talk about what your journey's been like. What can we draw from it? What learnings do you point to in your career? Any challenges that you face that our young women leaders can learn from? So let's start with that and then we'll take the conversation ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Garima. And of course, you when you were introducing me, so you said almost 2 decades, and trust me, it really struck me at that time. Uh, okay, it's been now 2 decades, and that I have been associated with this wonderful industry, this ecosystem of public relations and corporate communications. Um, well, I would say that I have been one of those luckiest ones who has seen the communications industry evolving right from the stage when it was just to be known as writing some kind of a newsletter for your boss, right from
Mm,
those days. And that too very, very internal. And also external communications, when I say it was only and only getting a newspaper ad. So days I'm talking is probably around 2001, 2002. So it's almost about, 23 years back, 24
mm,
years back.
mm, mm,
So have been privileged to see that remarkable changes, the evolution the industry has gone through,
mm,
right from just being known as a PR industry to now being almost there to be known as an AI driven PR industry. So
mm,
that's a long way we have come. And of course, AI being uh, that started seeding into every part of our lives. And of course, the PR and the corporate communication industry has not been left behind. Um, when we talk about, you just mentioned, to share about my career journey. And I would say there's one highlight that I would like to share with the audience, whoever is listening to the listeners, whoever is listening to us right now. Uh, got a chance to work with some of the amazing global brands.
mm,
And the best thing that I see and I have learned over the past so many years, got a chance to work with various cultures.
mm,
And when you, whether I started with American to Japanese to
mm,
Dutch to American, and it was a beautiful learning journey, a very, very insightful journey working with such amazing global cultures and
mm,
the kind of, the adaptability that you need to go through into to adapt yourself to the various cultures. Because when you are working with various cultural oriented leadership teams, so you really have to learn that, imbibe that in yourself, and work accordingly.
Correct.
So I think that has been one of the very important highlights of my career journey, or I would say one of the important learnings.
Mhm.
And I am still, of course, we all are learning with every day. We are learning into something or the other. We are always learning, and we are sharing the learnings with
Mhm.
each other. Um, that was the second point that has been a highlight. And when I look back, and it's been now 20 years, close to 20 years, the kind of the changes that we have seen, even uh, the past 10 years, Garima, has been amazingly swift,
Mhm.
very fast. The
Mhm.
last 1 decade, and thanks to COVID, ironically, that acted as a catalyst to further swiften this entire evolution process.
True.
So what
True.
we had imagined, the changes coming into communication industry or the PR industry, for it with that might have taken another 5 to 6 years down the line, it
Mhm.
happened in just 6 months. It just
True.
happened in 6 months.
True.
So, in a nutshell, yes. So that has been my career journey so far, working with some amazing brands, and uh, I mean, it's been a very, very insightful, very learn a lot of learnings, and a lot of culture oriented PR that I could do for the organizations that I have been associated with. So that I would put it in a nutshell. That has been my experience so far.
Great, Kitika. I think you've summed it up really beautifully because you talk about the global exposure that you've had of different cultures, which makes the journey very humane also. You spoke about some milestones that we saw along the way because the definition of the sectoral definition of the discipline itself kept evolving as the market
Indeed,
evolved, as
indeed.
the discipline evolved. And you've been
Yes.
somebody who's seen this all. And as I understand, you also not just focus on your own learning, you're also somebody
Hmm.
who gives back, right? You're also a mentor to a lot of young professionals. You also invest a lot in lifelong learning, like you're saying, you're a learner. And there's a very different growth mindset that one needs to be in that energy of soaking in and learning as they go
Of course.
along,
Yeah.
right? So I'd love to talk about this aspect with you that with 2 decades of experience behind you and of course
Hmm.
a lot more uh,
Yeah.
remaining in the inning as we go along,
Mhm.
what do you think are the
I'm sure.
crucial, yeah, God
Hmm.
willing, and what are the crucial
God willing.
aspects, what are the crucial pillars of building a career in PR and communications? Be it skills, be it mindset, be it the technicalities or the non-technicalities, be it personality traits. Help us understand if somebody is aspiring for a career and a leadership role in PR and communications, what you refer to as the core, principles and pillars that keep them grounded and help them soar high.
Garima, that's actually a very, very interesting and a very nice question, because when you picked up, mentorship has been one thing that has been extremely close to my heart, and
Mhm.
I have uh, been a part of a lot of mentoring, uh, uh, you know, lectures. I would say not lectures exactly, but more of interactions, a dialogue between a lot of colleges, institutions, and a lot of young talent, buzzing talent, the Gen Z talent who are trying to make a career, or who are aspiring, willing to make an excellent career down the field of, or the realm of PR and the corporate communications roles.
Mhm.
Uh, there are a couple of things which, as my personal point of view and my personal experiences that I would like to share here is, uh, if one intends to be really good in the role of PR and communications,
Mhm.
you have to be the first and foremost, be a good communicator. That's the thumb rule.
Mhm.
And it's not there that you are aspiring and you can become a communicator overnight.
Yeah.
Learning. It's
Mm.
all about the learning process. And how do you indulge into that learning process is just read, read, read. Communicate with people. It's
Mm.
extremely important. And when we say that network, network, networking, indeed, it is extremely important that
Mhm.
more and more you meet people, more and more you come across new ideas, more and more you gel along, and the imaginations and the vibes when they cross each other when you talk to people,
True.
it tends to improve and further improve your communication skills. And that's
Mhm.
exactly the basic and the thumb rule that is required to be a good communications professional.
Communicative. True.
When
True.
you come down to, you start, you're a part of the business and you start working for organizations. One thing that is extremely important, and that has been my personal experience, you need to be very much aware of your surroundings. Your business awareness is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of young talent who try just to get into there, that okay, if I'm a good communicator, I can
Mm.
sail through it, and I can
Yeah.
talk to my leaders, and I can write good articles for them. Having very less or little knowledge about the business, it can go to one level, but beyond that, it falls.
True.
So, being aware about your business, where exactly you are working, and being aware about what is exactly happening around you, I think
Mm.
that is one of the most important key aspects of being a good communications and a PR professional.
True. True.
That then again, it of course leads to the next step, that try and improve your creativity, your
Mm-hmm.
imagination skills. Try and
Mm-hmm.
improve that. Of course,
Mm.
not everyone is born with the excellent creativity and some superb and wonderful imaginative skills. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you are aspiring to become a really good communicator, then you need to be a good storyteller. Till the
Absolutely.
time, because Garima, gone are those days when boxes used to sell, or the era of product selling. We are done and dusted with that age. Now is this time of telling stories. The
Mm-hmm.
more authentic, the more connected, the
Mm-hmm.
more, uh, I would say, the authentic the story comes out to be
Mm-hmm.
towards your consumer, the
Mm.
better the PR skills that you have, the better communicator you become. So it's extremely important that how you narrate yourself, whether it is a simple narrative, whether you are a freelancer or whether you're working for an organization, that's immaterial. It's
Mm-hmm.
immaterial. And of course, knowledge about your products, the knowledge about your media around you, how does the Indian media work? That's very tactical. But I
Mm.
think from a business point of view, these are some of the things that I have learned in my journey so far. And when we talk of personality skills,
Mm.
a good PR and a comms professional has to be agile. You have to be highly, highly adaptive, that
Mm.
whatever come what may the situation you are into, you have to think about sailing through it.
True.
Quickly need to adapt, not be stringent. However, again, I would like to say here, need to keep your point across your stakeholders in that, with that conviction that
Mm-hmm.
that is accepted, because PR and comms professionals, gone are those days when this segment, or this entire niche segment, I would say, but now it's not a niche segment anymore. Then they were just considered that okay, this is the employee comms that has to go out. Can you please check the grammar and the language?
Yeah.
No, we are done and dusted with that now. We
True.
are just done
True.
and dusted with that age. We are now, comms professionals are now advisors to the leadership of the
Mm-hmm.
organizations that we are working for,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that conviction needs to be there, that whatever we are doing, that is in the interest of the brand, that is in the interest of the organization. So, need to build up on your conviction skills. But how to
Right.
sail through it, it actually depends upon various situation to situation. And I think once you start sailing through it, you build your own trade secrets and you build your own tactics that how do you want to sail through that.
True,
And
true.
that's the hard way, even I have learned it.
There's some really, really hardcore advice there because I think you've touched upon a good mix of holistic offering there, right? Which is pretty much seated in the fact that no more is communication a sideline, side dish sort of a function.
Yes,
It's very much
absolutely.
the core, and it's increasingly becoming a boardroom subject. And more brands are realizing the importance of it. So from com skill to business skills to agility to creativity to charisma,
Absolutely.
you need to package all of that in one and
Indeed.
pick, yeah, pick
So
and work
very,
on it.
very nicely said, Garima, when you said that it has become a topic of the boardroom discussion, that
Mhm.
now corporate communication profile or a team is no more considered as just a sideline team who are just required to create some employee communications. No, it is now a part of the mainstream pillars any organization that needs. And the organizations have now very much realized the importance of having a corporate communication team as a standalone pillar, as a standalone team, having the entire set of responsibilities, accountabilities, that whatever the whether it's a leader, whether it's a spokesperson, whether it is your employees, whatever they are saying, it has to come from the comms, absolutely validated and vetted by the team.
Yeah, that's also
So
a play of the
thanks.
fact that there's
Yeah.
so many medias right now. There's so much
Yes.
information floating around that, if the comms team does not string it all together and does not ensure consistency and integration at every level, then
Yes.
there is a very big chance of everything falling flat. And therefore, the role is becoming
Absolutely.
important increasingly.
Absolutely, and completely agree with you because that's where exactly, uh, when you spoke about the word consistency, so
Yeah,
that is one of the important another set of pillars that uh, that a communication professional definitely has to be there, and uh, and from my experiences so far that I have been able to create that three C's of communications that I usually like to bend upon
definitely.
is, and that is all about, uh, it's all about creating the right content. Content is the king. Content is the king, queen, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all about the right content, consistency of that content, so that the messaging is not just falling apart and you are not just held up somewhere that, okay, 1 week I did this and I just lost track of it another 3 weeks. And suddenly after the fourth week, I realized that, okay, oh, I need to go back to that and I just need to say
Mm.
it again. No. So it's all about the right content. It's all about the right consistency. And the last C is the right communication channel. So it's all about what is the medium or what is the right communication channel that you are using to converse, have a dialogue with your audience. So that's the three
Absolutely.
C's thumb rule that I follow.
No, great tip there. And I'm sure people listening to us and seeing this conversation whenever, at whatever time they'll definitely take away a lot from whatever you shared so far, Gitika. I'd like to now touch upon the fact that, we may like it, we may not like it. Technology is something that's all pervasive and it's just coming in from every direction at us. It's cliche to have a conversation about how relevant is it and how soon do we jump on that bandwagon. I think that's needless to say, we will have to catch up with it at some point of time to be as efficient as possible with our work. But help me understand, how does technology become an impediment in our growth also at times? Because the dependency on communication, on content creation from a tech lens is way higher now with the AI, right? Because you also touched about on AI in PR. talk a little to us about your perspective on tech in PR and comms, and where is it going from a trend perspective?
Absolutely. And Garima, this is, I think this question that you have, you've just spoken about, it is the need of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot survive without technology, whether it is communications, whether it is PR, or be it any industry, be it any realm of life. We cannot survive without technology, and that's the hardcore truth. We, as humans, we have accepted it, and we have learned to live with it, and we are very happy living with it. Um, yes, with the advancements of technology, all thanks to artificial intelligence, the latest new bee in the town, in the world, across the globe, and that has like taken, it's taken the entire humanity by rage, and
Mm-hmm.
where everyone is talking about AI. And we, of course, the communications portfolios, we people that who are handling it, we have not let been, untouched by it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about the various platforms, and I would like to pick up a specific example here, where is ChatGPT? We know, and ChatGPT has been proven to be as one of the best, or I would say your comms partner, wherein content is available at your fingertips. You just type in the keywords, and you have the entire, I would say, the annual plans and the
Mm-hmm.
strategy plans are right in front of you on your screen. However, so Garima, in fact, I don't like using the word but. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always however for me. Um, very recently, I was attending this very wonderful conference of PR and corporate communications just last month. And there was this gentleman, a speaker there, who raised this very valid point, and it just stuck with me. And he says, and this was exactly the topic that was into conversation there, that how technology has been seeping into our lives and how communication professionals have been affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, no one can be left out without talking about ChatGPT, the new, I would say, the best friend of corporate communication professionals. And there was one very hard hitting fact that he said, and it just left with me, and it is still with me. Of course, it's going to stay. ChatGPT can write for you. ChatGPT can understand for you. ChatGPT cannot talk for you.
Mm-hmm.
So a communications professional has to be a good communicator, having your ideas, your own thoughts as a professional, what you are doing as a value add, whether it's an organization, whether it's to the system, whether it's to the entire ecosystem, be it whatever. ChatGPT can't talk for you.
True,
And
true.
I am a very, very strong believer that no matter the kind of wonderful content any kind of AI platform can generate for you,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have to go and present it to someone, you have to have your own human touch to it, your
True.
own human ideas to it. And that only belongs to a individual. Every
True.
individual has their own individuality in terms of imagination, in terms of creativity, that no chat GPT can ever take from you.
No,
And
absolutely. I'm
that
so
chat
with you on that.
GPT can
Yeah.
also can never ever express that for you the way an individual, a communications professional, can do that in front of his or her audience. So that one thing, Garima, just stuck with me, and I am a very, very firm believer in that.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to all the technology givers, absolutely doing an amazing job there. But still, to our listeners, I would definitely, and I'm sure there would be a lot of aspiring professionals who are wanting
Leaders,
to
yeah.
make a career in communications. Please do take ChatGPT as your friend, but not
Mm-hmm.
as your best friend.
True.
You are your own best friend. The kind of creativity, the kind of verbatim, the kind of language, the kind of ideas that you yourself are going to bring to the table, no chat GPT on the earth can do that for you.
I so agree with it, because when you do something, you add a little bit of Gitika in it. When I do something, I add a little bit of Garima in it.
Indeed.
And 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 there is a different blueprint, there's a different universal code that all of us carry, and unless we add that little bit of heart and charisma in what we do, uh, everything else is
Exactly.
meaningless. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At the end of the day, Garima, we are all humans. Somewhere down the line, sometimes we forget that we have
Yeah.
all become robots, but it's not true. It is not true. We are humans. We do have feelings. Everyone wants to express themselves. So no chat GPT or any kind of, not specifically chat GPT, be it any AI tool, no one can do that for you. No
Awesome.
one.
So no realism can replace, no artificial technology can replace the realism and
Indeed.
authenticity of an individual. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's a lovely thought to pivot to the next segment that I want to go to, which is like a rapid fire sort of a space which that we get into. And
Okay.
there's a lot of personal tips and tricks that we'll need from you, Gitika, from your experience,
So,
right? But the
am I
only
going to get
request
a
is to
hamper for this? Am I going to get a
you'll get a
hamper
lot of
for this?
you'll get a lot of love from me.
All accepted.
Cool. Lovely, lovely. But we love to
Right.
keep it very rapid and fiery, right? As the
Sure.
name is. Awesome. So, be it books, be it podcasts, be it any other source of knowledge, right, that you refer to, any top tips on anything that touched your journey, anything that proved useful and you go to? Any tips in that?
I mean, you mean as a professional in the entire journey?
Maybe a professional tip,
I,
maybe personal, anything. Mindset, personal development, anything.
as I mentioned earlier, I think agility. Agility is going to be really, really paying you off when you are really looking at to become a good, successful PR and accounts professional.
All right, awesome. So we asked for something external, but you gave us something internal. So that's the personal touch that we were referring to, which is great, more than welcome. Okay. In a life of PR and comms, crisis is something that's very constant. It keeps coming in, and that
Mhm.
also throws you off balance. 3 tips to
Yeah.
stay calm in face of a crisis.
Hmm. The first one, whenever you are looking at a career in comms or PR, the first thing, please be always careful, not careful, I would say. Always remember, PR is equal to crisis. PR is synonymous to crisis. So one should always be ready because crisis uh, चिट्ठी देकर नहीं आता है. So it's like it always it comes to you as a bomb and it just explodes. So yes, first thing, absolutely be calm, be very,
Mhm.
very composed. And second, rather than getting loosen up yourself or shouting at the team or shouting at anyone does not serve the purpose at all. You need to get your business facts in place because facts are going to be your biggest friend at the time of the crisis. That's going to be your biggest friend. And the third one is never lose your human touch to it. Never ever. Because the more human, the more honest and transparent you are, more easily and swiftly one will sail through handling a crisis situation.
Awesome. So stay calm, get your business facts together, but also operate from a place of being human and have your heart involved. Moving on, work-life balance. One quick tip on how to strike that balance that we are all trying to chase.
Um, PR and comms, I would say, is a it's kind of a 24 by 7 job because when we say PR is synonymous to crisis, it can come at any time. But yes, I think maintaining your mental health is extremely important and striking that work life balance by giving yourself that time, that pause. Just pause for a while. And that's how I have also been trying to do that for quite some time now. That whether you have, no matter how many meetings you have during the day, definitely wind up your meeting at least 10 minutes in advance before your next meeting. Just take a
Awesome.
pause, just take a pause. And that I think has to be imbibed in us right from the time when you start your day. Just
Hmm.
keep on saying this to yourself that I have to work, but work is a part of my life, not my life. So that's how I keep on reminding myself that just take a pause, just take a pause for yourself.
Lovely. So allow yourself some me time, taking pause, downtime, recreate, and then go back fresh. Awesome.
And
That brings us
again,
to
Garima, consistently. It's nothing goes
yeah, yeah,
without consistency, and
absolutely.
not just you do it for a week and then you just again lose track of it. No, you have to be highly consistent with it. Yeah.
Get that. One last question, Gitika, before we let you go. Any myth
Hmm.
that you want to burst about PR or any trend that you see robustly, either of the two? Any PR trend that we should watch out for, or any myth that you are itching to burst?
Uh, myth, I would. mm, okay, myth. I would say that it's PR is no more seen as I mentioned earlier in my conversation. PR is no more seen as create someone creating sitting on a desk and creating press releases. It's more about storytelling now, but
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of a lot of people around us, they still feel it is extremely easy. You just have to write a couple of
Yeah,
paragraphs
it's all
and the
glitz
press
and
release is
glamour,
done.
not anymore. It's like
Yeah,
hardcore business.
it is hardcore business, and PR and communications is no more just a sidelined team that is just sitting in one corner of the office. No, it's not. It is a part of now every mainstream business. So that is, I think, one myth. People, they are getting there, and a lot of changes and the evolution has gone there. But yes, to be very honest, Garima, we still have a little bit long way to go. Yeah. So that is
Awesome. And
one
I'm
myth I
sure,
wanted to talk about. Yeah.
yes, Gitika, and
And
I'm sure podcasts, yeah,
yes,
lovely. We'll have to wrap this in another minute. Cool.
of course.
Tell me more. What you wanted to close something?
The late some of the one of the latest trends that I would like to talk about in just one word is sustainability. That
Yes.
has been extremely and that has been one of the focus areas of every business, every organization, because now brands are integrating sustainability in the core identity and the core mission statement that
Mhm.
has been created, and how sustainability has been an integral part of all the PR strategies for all the brands. So that has been, I have been seeing now as one of the latest trends, and that will go
Mhm.
a long way. Probably,
Mhm.
I think another 5, 10 years down the line, when we are talking of all sustainability, reducing carbon footprint, getting down to 0%, and it towards the environment. So I think that is one of the latest trends that I have seen
And
coming
that's
up.
such a nice trend to see around, right? Because the trend has
Of
such a
course.
strong purpose in itself. So
Yes,
that's
all purpose driven.
amazing. That's, yeah, exactly. That's so amazing because for the longest, with profit being the core of every business, that's what it's brought where we are today. But now that we are turning the
Yes.
lens towards purpose, I'm sure it's going to take us higher from there. Lovely, Gitika. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's amazing that in less than 40 minutes, we've been able to touch on culture-driven communication, tips and tricks for young professionals, talking about technology and its evolution, and little bit of Gitikaism in the last suggestions that you've shared for the young leaders. I'm really fortunate to have had this opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much for making time. And I'm sure that this episode is going to be loved by a lot of young leaders.
Thank you so much, Garima. It was indeed a pleasure chatting with you, conversing with you on this wonderful platforms through WICCI. and absolutely amazing to be a part of this conversation today. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Awesome. More power to WICCI.
More power to WICCI.
See you. See you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.